from Capone Noriega, CNN, The War Report. It's probably one of the only songs I used to go to and listen to, and it's not even like clearly it's a track, it's a song, but it's not like a rapping song in it. They kind of just chant back and forth or whatever. I always thought it was like one of the best and coolest. Um, I don't even want to call it a skit, but I guess you could call it a skit just for lack of a better word. But anyway, I'm back at it, walking. I am. Let's see if y'all can see that. Don't know. Oh, you can see it. I am 54 minutes in, a little bit more than well, two and a half miles in so far. These walks are like, it used to seem like they were long when they were 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles even, but they seem substantially longer at 7 miles, which is why I kind of started cutting it back to six and a half, six and a quarter. But it's healthy, so I do it. But again, during my see if my stomach is poking out. There it is, poking, sucked in just a little bit. I mean, I'm down to 230, so it's just about getting the fat off now, which is always the toughest thing to do. But anyway, I was texting my friends earlier because I don't know where it came from, but I wanted to hear like those recordings of like those old radio broadcasts that when there's in like the horror movie and it has like the just the pastor, the preacher just talking about the end times and stuff like that on there. And I really couldn't find them. I found like old preaching broadcasts, but they were like from the 70s, and they weren't like creepy or scary. They sounded clear. It's good recordings actually, and it's good stuff. But I wanted to find those creepy recordings. So of course I got on Grok instead, and AI found it for me. And we'll talk about AI too, but there's called like the Swedish Project. I don't know what it really is or what it was for, but there's like all these little creepy sounding counting and like counting in different languages through like, the crackling radio broadcast. So I listened to about, 6 minutes of it, and immediately I just started, maybe jokingly, but it felt like I was being programmed or something because it's like pointless numbers, but they're also in different language. Like they're trying to implant something in my head. But yeah, the Swedish Project, I was looking for something to keep me entertained on my walk. And hello to the people who joined and thanks for the like. 8 people should have 8 likes. Come on, y'all. I'm new at this, kinda. Let's get it in. Let's make the 8 go to at least 4. Anyway, so I'm on my walk. And so I texted my friends that, and now they're like, what the heck is this crazy stuff you're listening to? And even then, that still wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for the creepy broadcast. So I still got to look that up and find what that is, like the religious end times broadcast. I found one, and it's called The Next Voice You Hear. I think it's The Next Voice You Hear, dot, 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 is God. And I just listened to like a clip of it on YouTube. I think there's a whole movie, something about like 7 days, some town or whatever hears God's voice for like 7 days or something. It's like a movie, I guess. So maybe I'll watch that, but it still wasn't like the creepy broadcast. I really want to find the creepy broadcast from those scary movies. If anybody finds them, send them to me, message me, let me know what they are. Um, but again, I used AI, Grok, to find it because when I just did a regular Google search, I just found regular YouTube videos of like, um, like old broadcasts, like old preachers from churches and stuff. They weren't scary enough. I want to hear the creepy horror broadcasts that you hear in the radios on the scary movies, like when they're driving some long, lonely road or something. But anyway, so yeah, I got on Grok and found it. But before that, I was listening to this guy talk about what AI is going to eventually do to the world. And again, I don't really get into the details about stuff like that. I don't really understand it completely. So, what I will say is, as much as people complain about, yet also use AI at the same time, and as much as many people think AI is going to be the end of the world, who thinks it's inevitable that this was going to happen regardless? I'm not saying it's really the end of the world or not, but who thinks that AI being super powerful is the actual is inevitable? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it actually inevitable that AI would take over the world? And when you think about it, just like everything on Earth, besides nature, humans created it. Humans created artificial intelligence, people. It's kind of like what was going to happen eventually. What is AI really used for? What is it? What was it for? It was to minimize us doing work, right? That's what AI was for. Everything from the beginning of time was made so that we don't have to do something else, or we can actually, you know, do something quicker or faster or more efficient, right? They say, fire is one of the first inventions. Why did we use fire? Why do we want fire so bad? To keep warm. What did we use to keep warm before that? Rubbing our feet together, rubbing each other together, or somehow we got a cover, right? We made a cover to put on top of us. And that's what was like, okay, that's not sufficient enough, right? Let's also, you know, and maybe, when I say, created fire, no, we didn't create fire. I literally just said, you know, nature, but, you know, discovering fire, I'll say, right? Discovering fire made it so that we could build a bigger fire and stay warm all night in the cave. And then what else did we do with fire? Before, I don't know if we always ate meat, but we definitely ate vegetables and probably grass. So what ended up happening, right? Now, if we were catching meat in the caveman days, you weren't cooking it because it wasn't hot. You didn't have fire. Now that you have fire, what can you do? You can cook it and it's going to taste better, right? So that's what I mean when I say, is AI inevitable? Over the course of time, humans have always made things to help us out to the point where we don't need it anymore and we come up with something even better. Now, AI seems like that's the end all be all. AI will be able to do everything, you know? So it will take jobs. It will, you know, make it so that the only things humans can do all day is, I don't know, create art, music, and AI can do all that too. I've used it for lots of different things, creative wise. Literally, you can take a picture you find. I'm talking like art, and like, let's say, it's, you don't like the person's skin color in the art. You want it to match yours or your friends or your significant other to kind of send it like a text, because that's what I use it for. If I see a beautiful art picture or whatever, and it's like white people or something, but it's like in a nice scene scenario or whatever, I just say make this couple African American, and it changes it. Not only does it just change their skin tone, it can change their hair, even clothes. Obviously, this is obvious stuff, but that's, I'm just saying you can mess with art. You could do art yourself, or you could use AI to do it. Music wise, I've used it to help me write and finish songs. Nothing that I've released because I don't really want to do that. If I make an AI song, it's only going to be released on Suno for that. Like, I don't want to, you know, make a AI hit and then be like, oh, I did it myself. It was all me. No, I don't want to do that. I still write my own music. I never made beats. I can give production notes and stuff like that, or what I want it to sound like. So I do, do that. But with AI, with Suno, even with Gemini, you can make music in seconds. So what I've done just to test it out, I created a vocal, not a vocal, but a lyric enhancer for Grok. And what that does is basically takes my lyrics. I mean, I uploaded a bunch of my lyrics and it analyzed them all, a lyric enhancer. So now it can write me a song. It's still not the best. So, of course, I always have a lot of tweaks, but I can give it an idea, maybe give it a hook, and it'll go ahead and do that. Create it. Sorry, I was reading some of the comments. The king, the king bee, really? Cool. Hey, hi, never quit, never will. Um, but I think the topic of the conversation that I'm talking about is what scares people, but they don't want to realize is is this inevitable? Is AI inevitably going to take over the world? I think, yeah. I mean, not in a, not even in a bad way or scary way, but like this is what humans built. They're not going to stop until it becomes the best version of itself. So it's you're putting too much stock into AI, saying, "Oh, AI is going to do this and break this and whatsoever." But at the end of the day, isn't this what humans set out to do? So is AI doing it or is humans doing it? Hey, hey, you back to school, huh? There you go. It's pretty busy on this. This the first day? This the first day? First day, okay. See ya. School is back in session. But yeah, like I was saying, it's inevitable. I know I'm repeating myself, but oh no, that's what I was saying. Humans created AI, right? Humans continue to test it and continue to feed it. So every thought that comes out of it, at the end of the day, is human. I mean, to a high extent, but I think, like, let's say, for instance, there's somebody who wants to do harm to the world. If that person is also using AI, and let's say there's 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 100, 1 billion out of the 8 billion want to do harm to the world, right? And they're using AI, they're the ones programming it. That's what AI is. It learns from humans. So either way you look at it, is it AI doing it? Is it AI doing it or is it humans doing it? Of course, it's a mix, but if AI is the end of the world, can't or shouldn't it just be shut down? I mean, it could be somehow. I don't think AI is so, you know, um, advanced that we can't just shut it down. But we're not going to do that because there's money involved. And also think about all the stuff that you use AI for regularly. Even if you don't use any of the, apps, Grok, Chat GPT, Claude, which I've never used, don't understand it. It's probably the same thing. But like Gemini, it be deleted, can be used only for professionals. It won't be in the wrong hands or I guess professionals. Today, what's with AI? How powerful is it really? I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's really that powerful until it's actually put into like a human form into a robot. When it can go from just being, words and text to something physical. Like think of it, like an online relationship. Like, yeah, you can talk and you can feel all that good stuff or whatever through text and stuff like that. But until it's in physical, that's a whole nother level. It's completely different. Of course, you know that, but it's completely different. I hope you know that. So anyway, that's my live for today. Honestly, I want to listen to music, and I want to find more weird stuff to listen to. So Thanks for the likes. And like I said, hit me with some random stuff to talk about, some random topics, and I'll talk about it. Even if I don't know about it, maybe I'll look it up or I'll just riff. I don't know. Just come up with some stuff, make it entertaining. But I'm on mile 3, and yeah, y'all have a good day and drop the like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'm gonna keep going live. Try to build something out of this. Peace. So again, the king be really. Oh, and I didn't see that one. Grace and hello.